Hi there, good to see you. Welcome to the Dorchester Hotel here in London. Today is all about the press conference ahead of what is set to be a very special evening, coming to you live from the Royal Albert Hall on Friday night as Natasha Jonas and Lauren Price battle it out in a welterweight world unification fight, which we are all very much looking forward to. Johnny Nelson, Matt Macklin and Andy Clark. If yesterday the open workouts is anything to go by in terms of Joe Gallagher and his outburst, we could be in for a treat today, Andy.
We're all getting Gallaghered today, aren't we? I think.
No, you were safe. I think you were the only one that was safe out of all of this.
I was safe. I don't know how you frame something that's been on TV, but I feel like I should frame that and keep it, so when I'm feeling a little bit low, I can just play it back to myself. But he'll have something up his sleeve today, absolutely no question. I'm not exactly sure what, but he will be out to rattle a few cages. It's what he does.
No, that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to plant the seed of doubt in Lauren Price's mind. I don't think that's going to be an easy thing to do, though. I was just speaking to her across the road. We were grabbing a coffee, and she is supremely confident, as you'd expect when you look at her track record, not just as a professional, but all through her sporting career. She's achieved, and she got this air of, it's her time now. That
very much came across yesterday from Lauren when we were sat with her while she was watching Tasha. But do you think there could be a danger that maybe she's too confident?
You can never be too confident going into a fight. You've got to believe in yourself 100%, and that's what she does. She's no fool. She understands the risk. She understands she believes in what she's capable of doing. So therefore, how she is, it's not a fake. I went into the IS in Sheffield when she was training, and she was absolutely buzzing. Couldn't wait, and that was like weeks ago. It's not fake. She really believes that. Even when we did the gloves are off, and they were there sat opposite each other, Natasha, and all the way through, Natasha's had to be like the parent trying to calm the child, whereas Lauren's like, you know what, you're not going to deny me no matter what. So it will be a good fight.
I think it will be fascinating today to see how they both are at the press conference, whether there is any more back and forth, whether Lauren will try and get into Natasha's skin. But we are talking about this being experience versus youth, and perhaps that could be the difference. Natasha just won't even go there because she's been there and done that.
I think so. I don't think she'll really need to. I think she knows what Joe Gallagher is probably going to do, and she will just sit there and watch it unfold and let it happen. She's seen it however many times before, and we'll just see how Lauren handles it, to be honest with you, and how the rest of the card kind of reacts to it as well. With regard to the confidence of Lauren Price, it is kind of interesting, though, because speaking to fighters about this, some never entertain the prospect of defeat, not for 1 second. That's how they do it. Others like to feel that knot of fear in their stomach that something could go wrong. And I just wonder with her whether it's slightly dangerous if there is no universe in which she loses to Natasha Jonas.
As a fighter, that's how you've got to think. You've got to think, no matter what you do, I'm coming out of here a winner. And because if you have that tinge of doubt, thinking, what if this, what if that, that's the beginning of the end. If things are hard in the fight, you think, oh, this is going to happen. You've got to go in there supremely confident. That's why our fight game is so unique.
But it's annoying Joe Gallagher is getting under his skin that a lot of people are talking about Lauren Price in terms of, comparing it to being the next Usyk, and he's having none of that. What do you think the game plan will be for Lauren Price on Friday night, Andy?
If I were her, I would want to come out quick, but you don't want to come out too quick because she's got this ridiculous speed. But to use that speed, you don't need to be warp speed. You just need to be quicker than the other person. And we talked about it earlier in her career. If you throw a double feint that's so fast the other person can't see it, then there's not really any point to it. And what we've seen in the last couple of fights is she has slowed things down. You can set a hot pace and a high tempo without going too gung-ho and too helter-skelter, because if she does that, Jonas has got the timing to catch her. If she comes square and rushes things, then Jonas has got the timing to catch her. That's what I like about the fight, is that Jonas can punch.
Yep.
Jonas can punch. And from a neutral point of view, if Tasha Jonas can really register on Lauren Price early on, we're in for a hell of a fight.
I'd say, knowing Joe Gallagher, I would say that Joe probably knows it's unlikely that Tasha's going to outpoint Lauren. I think he'll think, but you know what? You can punch. You have got good timing. And she does rush in a little bit. And when she rushes in, her chin comes up. And I think he'll be just picking 2 or 3 little things, 2 moments which they can exploit, and I'll be just drilling it and drilling it and drilling it over the last few weeks and perfecting them. And I think when you get that opportunity, you've got to take it.
But just going back to what you said there, Andy, it would be fascinating to see, say, if Tasha does catch Lauren early on. That's something that Lauren really hasn't experienced so far. She hasn't really been tested like that.
So this fight will hopefully see Lauren experience other aspects of a fight, because you can't go through your whole career winning every round, because it's not very often unless you're Floyd Mayweather. But you need that experience of ups and downs to just build your character. I think for Natasha, she has to control the pace. That's it. If she doesn't, she loses. If she does, she wins. That's how I see it. I think Lauren has that snap power, but Natasha is unassumingly very strong. So when you're up close and personal, don't be surprised if Natasha is the stronger out of the 2. Even though Lauren's used to in close combat, she'll understand how to negate the body. But Natasha is unassumingly very, very strong. But I think the attack will come from Lauren constantly, because she will know, I've got to take the pace away. Any coach will tell her that. Take the pace away from her. That's what Rob McCracken will say to her. Take the pace.
What about in terms of the venue, the sort of, I guess, the magnitude of the occasion? It's a big bill, it's a big night performing at the Royal Albert Hall. Who do you think will handle that pressure better out of the 2?
I don't think it'll be a problem for either one of them. I look at the card and I think it's filled with fighters who are kind of made for this. I think Caroline Dubois will absolutely love it. Bomi Reishin, we don't know that well, but she seemed pretty composed and relaxed yesterday.
Talking of confidence, Caroline is just oozing that, and that has grown in the last few years from Caroline.
You know what? I love her confidence, because she really and truly believes in the positions she's in. And there's probably only 5 world champions in the world that actually believe they are the best fighter in the world. That's what world champion is, to say you're the best fighter in the world. Caroline's one of them. She believes she's the best fighter in the world, and it's official. She's just going to try and collect all the other belts. But in her opponent's shin, I was impressed with her. I was impressed with her hand-eye coordination. I was impressed with how relaxed she was. I was impressed even the team she brought with. I thought, Caroline, don't think you're going to walk through this young girl. But I think that will be a good fight. Great chief support.
Matt, do you think Bomi Reishin, could that be Caroline's toughest test to date?
Yeah, I think so. But I think Caroline's, it might not make it look that way, because she's getting better and better all the time. And, the last few performances, she's looked scintillating.
How did she look to you yesterday, Bomi Reishin?
I thought she looked good. I've watched her quite a bit this week, and she's got decent fundamentals. You look at the shape of her, you look at the balance, you look at the way she tries to take it to her opponent. She absolutely knows what she's doing. She really does, and I didn't trace an ounce of apprehension in her yesterday. You shouldn't be on Tuesday ahead of a Friday night. Maybe it'll creep in over the next couple of days, but I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think so. I think that is going to deliver on the kind of fireworks front. I think it's going to be a good fight. And then, you look at Al Ottingstall against Raven Chapman for the British title. And again, I think those are 2 people who will just love being on this stage, particularly Artingstall. I think this is something that she's really waiting for, and maybe this is what she's always needed to really get her to take it up a level.
Yeah, and I think the fact that Karis has been out of the ring for a year, she will be wanting to get back in there, put on a show, and sort of remind everyone, while she's had to sat on the sidelines watching everyone else that she sort of graduated with move on with her career, she will want to just get on with it on Friday.
Karis has walked in just as you were talking. Just look back. It just looks like an army. Everybody looks so coiled, in great condition.
Yeah, and
it just shows how much of a big deal this is. And I think I just think all of the fighters on the bill, they all want to try and steal the bill. I think with it being at the event, I think with everybody, they want to try and steal the top, the one everybody talks about. And you can tell, how they've all presented themselves. I think they look great, in great condition.
With the British title on the line in the Artingstall fight as well, I mean, that we know that brings out something extra and adds a little bit of spice always.
Yeah, very much so. Kirsty Babington, I like to think she can use her experience over Artingstall. But like I said, Artingstall, very talented and really suits the professional game.
And of course, Fran Hennessy back as well. We saw her yesterday smiling and dancing. But that's, don't let that fool you, because in the ring, delivers the goods and, brings it down.
Yeah, I think this is definitely for her. She's been around it all her life, and I don't think there's any way that if she has a tough fight, if she suffers a defeat, then her world will collapse around her and she'll decide that she's going to go and do something else. That isn't going to happen, and enjoying yourself and having a little dance on the way to the ring, that's good. You know, you're supposed to enjoy it. Boxers talk about fight night being the fun part, and she definitely brings that across every time we see her.
But I guess every fight is different, Matt. Everyone approaches it differently. Good to have a bit of a dance, but not every fight is the same.
No, we're all different, aren't we? But like, you know, but it's nice that she can enjoy it. When you walk into the ring and the adrenaline's pumping a million miles an hour, and the easiest thing in the world to do, soak it up and enjoy it. But you should really, because this is what you've worked so hard for, and actually you've done all the work in. What's going to be is going to be now. You've just got to go out there and execute everything that you've been working on. So the fact that she's able to relax and feed off the energy and dance and have a laugh, I think that's great.
I remember Harold Graham in the dressing room back in the day when he boxed. He looked like he was scared of anybody even whispering to him. He just wouldn't talk or look at anybody. But then you go the other scale and you see Prince Asim Hamid. It's a disco in the room. He's loud, he's braggadocious, he's enjoying his position. And that's what I like seeing with Francesca. She loves being where she is.
What did you do?
Pardon?
What did you do before a fight?
I enjoyed myself. We brought the gym to the dressing room, and that was it, until Brendan said, behave yourself, and tried to drag you out.
Well, let's hope we can enjoy this press conference today. They are just about ready to rock and roll, so let's hand you over to Big Mo for the introductions.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all to the members of the media who have joined us here today at the Dorchester, and thank you to our viewers joining us on Sky Sports. Over 2.5 years ago, we witnessed the first ever all-women's card in the history of this country. It ended up breaking records, selling out the O2, and really showed what women's boxing is not only in this country, but across the world. And now, Boxer and Sky Sports have teamed up yet again to do another all-women's card, this time featuring a different crop of fighters and champions, many of whom have joined us here at the Dorchester today. Firstly, we would like to thank you all for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors. I'd like to introduce those of you joining us. First, the hosts of today's press conference. First, from Sky Sports, Mr. Andy Scott, and the CEO and founder and the promoter of this event from Boxer, Mr. Ben Shalom. And now I'd like to introduce the fighters that are going to be competing this Friday night at the Royal Albert Hall. First, we have a super welterweight contest featuring the reigning European champion. Please welcome Kirsty Bavo Bavington. Her opponent in that contest is making her professional debut from Bolton. Please welcome the 2024 Olympic bronze medalist, Cindy Ngamba. An all-women's card in this country cannot not feature a fan favorite. We'd like to welcome the undefeated fighter from Kent. Please welcome the billion-dollar baby, Francesca Hennessy. The next contest at the Royal Albert Hall this Friday night is for the European flyweight title. First, the challenger. Please welcome from Poland, Jasmina Zaporożna. Her opponent is the defending European champion from Birkenhead, England. Please welcome the undefeated Chloe Watson. Next is our Betfred fight of the night and is for the vacant British featherweight championship. First, from Buckinghamshire, the nearly undefeated, current reigning and defending WBC international champion. Please welcome the Omen, Raven Chapman. And her opponent from Macclesfield, she is undefeated, and she is the 2020 Olympic bronze medalist. Please welcome Karis Ardingstall. And now we move up to the top table. Our chief support bout is for the WBC lightweight championship of the world. First, the challenger. She comes to London all the way from Seoul, South Korea, with 18 victories, 10 of which by knockout. Please welcome the former WBC international champion, Bomi-Ray Shin. And her opponent, the defending champion from right here in London, she is undefeated with a record of 10 wins, no losses, and 1 draw. Please welcome the reigning, the defending WBC lightweight champion of the world, Sweet Caroline Dubois. And now the main event, the 2 women headlining this all-women's card from the Royal Albert Hall in London. I would like to welcome their trainers first joining us on the side of Lauren Price. Please welcome Rob McCracken. And on the side of Natasha Jonas, please welcome Joe Gallagher. And now the two women looking to unify the division, each bringing their own belts to the table. First, representing her home country of Wales, please welcome the undefeated, the Olympic gold medalist, the MBE, the first ever women's British champion, and the reigning defending WBA, IBO, and Ring Magazine welterweight champion of the world, Lauren Price. And finally, her opponent, one of the most decorated women in the world in this sport, from Liverpool, England. Please welcome the former unified super welterweight champion of the world, and on Friday, the current reigning, defending, unified IBF and WBC welterweight champion of the world, Miss GB, Natasha Jonas. Andy Scott, Ben Shalom, the floor is yours.
Big Mo, thanks very much. Terrific introductions and even better attendance today. If you look around the room, great to see so many members of the press here and so many supporters of the respective teams. What a card that Ben Shalom, Boxer, Sky Sports and the Royal Albert Hall will be hosting on Friday night. That's the key that we want to keep getting across, Friday night, because you do not want to miss it. What a title for this card as well, Unstoppable. It feels like everything is unstoppable. Some of the fighters that have been mentioned, unstoppable. The continued wave of fighters that are coming through is unstoppable, and everything just seems to be growing and crescendoing on Friday. It's looking great. You know, we've been in this position a few weeks ago out in Saudi Arabia, and you hope that the card stays together. Got no reason to believe it won't. But Ben Shalom, you must be really happy with the bill that you put together for this. Some really good pick-em fights and some great talent on show as well. Yeah, just Big Mo going through it then sends shivers down you. I think the amount of talent on this card, the amount of fighters, the amount of fights, 50-50 fights all the way through, it just shows where the sport has come. Royal Albert Hall, 100 years of boxing, Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno. The first time we're going to see a female fight headline the card. It feels like history, it really does, an all-female card as well. And the card itself, I think Natasha Jonas was the first GB fighter to represent our country in 2012, and so to be here 13 years later and to have this card and have the divisions now so stacked, probably because of what Natasha and Katie represented, what they achieved. I know Chloe Watson on the card started boxing because of Natasha Jonas, so to see it come full circle is amazing. And in the past 2 or 3 years, where women's boxing has got to is phenomenal. It's one of the few sports where women can really compete with the men, with viewing figures, with commercials, with venues. And I've got to thank Sky Sports, I've got to thank Royal Albert Hall, because without them we don't get something that is truly historic on Friday night. And thanks to the fighters, because they're all putting their careers on the line in career-defining fights. Well, from top to bottom, there's talent breaking through. And I want to start with, in no particular order, but Francesca Hennessy, great to have you here. Great to have you on the bill. We should just say there is a late change of opponent for you, Fran, just because of some unfortunate visa issues. So in steps Gemma Rueg. Not that it makes a difference to you, I'm sure. I've spoke to you and your dad, and you're both chomping at the bit. And what was the line that you gave us yesterday, that you want to take the roof off the Royal Albert Hall? Tell us how you go about doing that. Oh, you know, look, I live in the boxing gym. You know, I love to fight. As long as I'm focusing on myself, I don't care who's in front of me. So, yeah, I'm ready. Gemma's a strong, tough opponent. She won a title in her last fight, you know. And I'm just ready to go and put on a show at a historic event. Yeah, you mentioned the title that she won. Obviously, I think anyone that's watched her fights, we've had her on Sky Sports a couple of times. She comes to win. She's tough, and you're going to have to be on your A game if you're going to get to where everyone keeps telling us that you want to get to and you're destined to get to. You can't afford any slip-ups against the likes of Gemma Rueg. Oh, no, definitely not. But as I said, I'm ready. You know, I focus on myself. I work hard, I train hard, I'm feeling great, and I'm ready to put on a show on Friday night and, you know, make the Royal Albert Hall electric. Yeah, I just touched on it briefly yesterday, but your dad has pretty much, you know, been in every boxing venue. He knows what the significance of the Royal Albert Hall brings. Has he discussed that with you? I get the impression, you know, whether it's a stadium, whether it's your call, you want to sort of bring that touch of, I don't know, sparkle that we've seen from you, be it the ring walk, be it the performance. To do that at the Royal Albert Hall adds a nice dynamic for it.
Oh, definitely. It's got to be extra special for this one, hasn't it? It's a great venue to tick off the bucket list, and I'm so happy to be performing in that venue amongst, loads of greats have fought here in the past, and as you said, my dad's been there many times over the years. So, it just feels great to fight there, and I'm going to put on a very special performance for everyone.
Well, great to have you here. We're expecting to see Gemma Ruegg tomorrow, so we'll catch up with her then. Down to the other end of the table, Kirsty Bavington, you've got that European title in front of you, two-time holder of that. We know exactly what you bring to the table, but you're in a strange dynamic against a debutant in Cindy Ngamba. And I put that to you yesterday. I wonder how that sits with you. Yes, a fight is a fight, but with the experience that you've got under your belt, do you believe that perhaps, a seasoned professional like yourself, the fact that they've chosen you for a professional debut opponent is a sign of disrespect, or it's not that deep?
It's not that deep. I want to be on this platform, so I'm glad that I'm here. I'm ready to cause an upset again and make a statement.
Is that what motivates you, turning up, causing the upset, upsetting the odds?
Yeah, I love being the underdog. I love the underdog mentality. I've got nothing to lose. The confidence is high. I'm buzzing to be around. Another person said I'm jumping around, so I'm confident and I'm ready to go, and it's an 8 round at the end of the day, and I just want to get in there and show them what I'm about.
What do you know about Cindy in terms of how she might approach this? She obviously have got no pro fights to go against, but in terms of an amateur, she's got a terrific reputation.
I've followed Cindy for a few years now. All respect to her, but the programme's a little bit different. I'm experienced, so we'll see what it's like when we get in there with 10-ounce gloves and no head guard, so we'll see how we get on.
Cindy, I'll give you a chance to sort of answer that. 10-ounce gloves and no head guard, is that something that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to my debut. There's no difference. Boxing is boxing to me. I know what I'm capable of, I know my skills, and I know what I can achieve. This is what I want. I want it to be thrown into the deep end, and she's an opponent at the end of the day, and I'm ready to get the game rolling. There's no hard feeling toward it, really. It's just another fight that I have to get out of the way to move, to keep on achieving many, many aims and goals in my pro journey.
Do you mind if I ask you, if people didn't follow your Olympic journey and they haven't studied you when you were an amateur, what do you think that you'll bring to the pro game specifically?
Even before the Olympic, my goal was to turn pro, but obviously the Olympic was the main one that I feel like is to even qualify for the Olympic is the most hardest thing ever, and to even be at the Olympic and face the best of the best that itself is another hard step, and I was able to overcome that. So I'm not saying that the pro scene is going to be easier. Obviously it's going to be challenging, but I have proven that in the amateurs, and I'm going to prove that in the pros too.
We know you're a proud member of that refugee team, but also very, very much aligned with Team GB. And I think those of us that have seen you on the circuit, sparring the likes of Chantel Cameron, Natasha Jonas, Lauren Price, Savannah Marshall, you will have been in with world champions. How far away do you think that realistically will be for you? Do you set yourself a ceiling or a goal that you think you can get to world championship level sooner rather than later?
Definitely, like you said, I've been in with the best of the best. I've shared many, many rounds, minute with all of them. All of them are amazing female boxers. Natasha Jonas, Savannah Marshall, Lauren Price, and Chantel Cameron. And I got as many experience around with all of them. But if you speak to most of all of them, they will tell you what I'm capable of and my ability. And also deep down, I know myself of what I'm capable of. Like I said before, I've shown that at the Olympic, and on Friday, I'm going to show that again.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and it's great to have you on the card. That's Cindy Ngamba, Kirsty Bavington, really looking forward to that one. Chloe Watson and Jasmina Zapakochna, we're looking forward to this European flyweight title. Jasmina, come to you first. if we could come to you first. Just set this up for us, because it was a relatively late addition to the card, but everybody has been telling us on the scene how this should be a really good style matchup. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how confident you are coming into this fight.
So first of all, everyone knows that this fight's going to be a big fight, because knowing me and Chloe, we had a lot of sparring together
a lot of rounds, tough rounds. After beating Maisie Rose, there was an opportunity to fight for European title with Chloe. Unfortunately, due to her injury, it's been postponed. But yeah, we were looking forward. I was looking forward to another date, and yeah, here I am with Chloe on Royal Albert Hall, and I'm just looking for. I'm so excited. I'm so happy and so grateful to be part of this big show. And yeah, it's going to be very, very enjoyable to watch fight on Friday night.
How do you go about beating Chloe? And it's always an interesting dynamic when you've done loads of rounds together. It means that you know her strengths, but you probably have identified some weaknesses as well.
Yeah, of course. I know what I'm capable of. I'm believing myself. And yeah, in the end of the day, I did everything what I could to be the best version of myself. So on Friday, just a better fight to win, and we'll see it was going to be. But I believe in myself a lot.
You probably welcome that, Chloe, don't you? This is Jasmina's shop window as well in terms of coming off a great win against Maisie Rose to jump up to your level. You see this as a platform yourself to sort of shoot yourself into the mainstream spotlight as well.
Yeah, 100%. She just mentioned before, we've done many rounds with each other, and people are going to be in for a treat on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we love a sparring story, and we'll probably come to that in other fights on the bill later on. But what are those spars particularly like? I sort of asked Jasmine the same question there. You can identify strengths, but also you will have seen some weaknesses. Do you mind sharing where you feel that you can win this fight?
Yeah, we've had good spars, and, but a spar's different from a fight, and look, it's going to be a really, really good fight come Friday. But yeah, I'm just ready to turn up. All the hard work's being put in, and I'm feeling good.
Binchalon mentioned it in the intros, and I don't want to take us down a complete tangent, but there's that great photo of Tasha coming to your school. And am I right in saying that you didn't know that you went to the same school until she actually visited, and that was one of the key moments in your development?
Yeah, so I actually seen her in the paper like the week before, and then the next week I was seeing her in my school, so it's crazy. But yeah, when she came in and spoke to me about the opportunities within the sport, it really gave me a kick and give me just a boost.
Yeah, well swerved. I do appreciate that.
You knew where I was getting at though.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
It gave me a little boost to take it seriously, and yeah, here I am.
Yeah, I mean, boxing's full of these stories, isn't it? But it is nice that it goes full story. You're up the top table, and Chloe, I'm sure it won't be long before you're up on the top table yourself. What a great sort of circle of boxing that is. Moving on, Raven Chapman and Karis Artingstall. Really, really looking forward to this one. Raven, we spoke at length yesterday, and I think a lot of people could see this as another style matchup, which again has all the ingredients that it could steal the show. How motivated are you to get past Karis in a fight that now houses for the first time in history, the British featherweight title as well?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I say, I think it's a really good clash of styles. I think we're both good boxers, we're both aggressive, and I think that makes for a really good fight. There's a title on the line now, which will, I'm sure, make the hunger in both of us even more. We both want that belt, and I'm just looking forward to getting in there on Friday and getting the job done.
Where do you see your strengths against Karis?
I've got a bit more experience than Karis in the pros, but I think me doing what I do best is strength in itself and will overcome whatever Karis has to bring.
You've had a bump in the road, obviously, last time out, but it was against world-class opposition for a world title. What have you taken away from that whole experience that you feel that you've improved on?
There was a lot to learn that experience, obviously, not only that, but also being in Saudi Arabia, massive fight card, lots going on, which was a new experience for me as well. We learned a lot from it, but, that's in the past. This is a different fight. Been me again in the gym. I've been working hard, and I feel really good this week.
Will you give us a prediction? How do you win this fight?
Well, I think obviously, I believe in myself, so I believe I'll win. We'll see what happens on the night. I'm not going to say there's going to be a stoppage, because normally when you're looking for a stoppage, that's not when it comes. But who knows? We're both hard hitters. But I know I'm going to get that win. I'm going to get my arm raised, and that belt will be around my waist.
I wish you all the best of luck. Karis, presumably you echo and welcome those sentiments from Raven. They're a confident camp and they're saying all the right things. And I wonder in your career if this is a sort of injection of pace that you need.
I just believe, like, when you sat up on this table, you say what, like, people are going to back themselves and say they're going to win, etc., etc. I'm going to sit here now and say I'm going to win. If you're going to ask me the question, how does it play out? Like, how do I see myself winning? I just believe I box Raven. Like, I'm just a better boxer, and I just think I outbox her. I stick to what I do best, and I believe I get my hand raised at the end of the night. You're
quite hard on yourself after fights, usually in the post-fight interview situation. Would you concede that we've seen flashes of what you're capable of, but we haven't perhaps seen the full package yet? Yeah, definitely. I believe, as people say, the better the opponent in front of you, the better the performance that you'll get from, like, talking about myself obviously. I haven't performed to the best of my ability at the minute. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know the talent I've got. Like, you don't just get up on the wall and get an Olympic medal for no reason. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I'm ready to showcase that on Friday. And I think we've sort of spoken in the past about, we've spoken in the past about where you see yourself getting to, that you feel that you can get to world title level, win a world title, and get in amongst the names like Sky Nicholson. Does that still is that still an ambition of yours to get that done in the next 12 months? Yeah, definitely, but I'm not looking past Raven Chapman on Friday. I've got a fight to get through on Friday night. One I believe I'm fully capable of winning, but that is my main focus. But I need to get through Raven to be getting my hands on some of them shiny belts behind me, like, and that's what drives me. That's where I want to be. I want to be the best in my weight category. Raven Chapman's an obstacle in front of me right now, and that's the one that my full attention and focus is on. Okay, we look forward to that contest. Up to the top table, I'm going to go to my left first, to the challenger, Bomi Ray Shin, who has got Billy here to translate. Can you just tell us about your journey to this point and how excited and what we can look forward to on Friday?
저는 어렸을 때부터 복싱을 하진 않았고 성인이 돼서 시작하긴 했는데 그때부터 지금까지 포기하지 않고 끝까지 해 왔습니다.
So I wasn't the case like where I started boxing since I was young. I started boxing when I became an adult, and I tried my best all the time, and here I am.
What is the best way to beat Caroline Dubois?
어떻게 상대하실 때 어떻게 이렇게 거기까지 올 때 어떤 방식으로 하는 게 가장
그냥 제가 평소에 하던 대로 하는 게 가장 좋다고 생각합니다.
For being here, I just think like just doing always what I've been doing would be the best way.
We've seen fights of yours in the past. You do bring a very aggressive style. Do you plan on using that aggressive style on Friday, or have you got something different planned?
경기하실 때 굉장히 사나운 모습을 많이 보여주시는데 이번에도 약간 맹수 같은 사나운 모습을 좀 가져보실 예정이신가요?
네.
Yes.
Okay, that's a nice way to finish it. Caroline, your response to some of the things you've heard there. I mean, I presume you welcome this sort of affair, this sort of pressure, come forward, meet me in the middle of the ring. Do you believe that she will back that up?
We'll see, you know, talk is cheap. To be fair, she hasn't done much talking, but she's here, and I just take it as, you know, every time I step in the ring, I don't know if it's arrogance, I don't know if it's confidence, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I feel like it's an audacity to think that she can beat me, you know. I don't know where she's getting that from. I don't know who's filling her head and where she's getting it and what she thinks that she has over me, but, you know, it's audacious to think that she thinks she can get in the ring and beat me because she ain't better than me.
I know you might just brush it off, but what have you got to be wary of?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
I step in the ring and I be me, you know. I believe I have the ability to stop this girl, and that's what I do, you know. I don't just come in the ring to put in a performance and outbox people and, you know, go through the motions. Every time I step into the ring, I put a personal ambition. I get frustrated when, you know, the amount of times I've come out the ring and I'm frustrated with myself, and, you know, if I don't get in the ring and, you know, people aren't saying my name, saying, wow, like Karen Dubois, she's something special. She's not just here to take part, she's here to take over. You know, these belts, these are mine. And for both to think that she's going to come here and just take them from me like that, you know, she's got another thing coming.
It was the most one-sided technical draw that we've seen. I think that's fair to say. Did you feel any sense of unfulfillment last time? Or is it just, it's the results column, but I think everybody that saw the fight, we probably have a different perspective. I wonder what your perspective on it is.
No, listen, as I said before, every time I step into the ring, it's about performing. It's about putting on a performance, and I feel like when I left the ring, it was my name that people were saying. I feel like I put on a great performance. I did everything on my side that I could do. You know, the results are the results. You know, I can't change the rules. The rules are what they are. So that's not my job. My job is to turn up and kick ass.
Okay, yeah, she's number one with the WBC, but is the goal this year, over the next 12
undisputed, months? 100%, undisputed world champion by the end of this year, maybe early next year at the latest. But, you know, this time next year, I want to be undisputed queen of the 145-pound division.
I love that. I don't even have to finish the question. Hopefully we can carry that on as we make our way to the main event. Bring in Ben Shalom. It felt like a natural fight to make from all the build-up that we've seen. You know, people were disputing who wanted to fight who when they wanted to fight. But now we're here. I think it just represents a brilliant all-British domestic unification that everybody's really sort of got up for. I wonder if you've even been surprised with the reaction to the fight and how it's built to this point now and how much you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, look, it was a fight we wanted to make. I think it's the two best welterweights in the world, but it's the biggest all-British female fight ever. And so to be able to put this on, to be able to put it on in the Royal Albert Hall, to have people like Natasha Jonas, who for me has done more for women's boxing than any other British fighter in this country, and for her to be 13 years on from the Olympics, headlining events, still being at the forefront of the sport is phenomenal. And then you look to her opponent, Lauren Price, MBE, gold medalist. I won't say she's never lost a round because Joe Gallagher might pipe up, but she has never lost a round. And she's a phenomenal talent. And again, it's two ambassadors that this sport needs. It's two ambassadors coming together. It's two big now rivals as to who's going to take the #1 spot. And yeah, phenomenal event for women's boxing, a phenomenal event for boxing, and could be one of the fights of the year.
Well, welcome to both champions. Tasha, I'll come to you first. I wonder how this compares to everything that's gone before. I often hear fighters say, you know, it's just another fight week, it's just another fight, a ring is a ring. But how does this fight compare to the others, would you say, in terms of the eyeballs that are on it, the traction that it's got? You know, there seems to have been a lot of talking already done, and what you've made of it all.
Yeah, it is just that though. It is just another fight. I'm not trying to put pressure on myself and build it up into anything other than when we get in the ring, it's just me versus Lauren. None of the other noise matters, and the best woman will win. That's it.
Yeah, well said. You did say in the gloves are off, it means more to Lauren than it does to you. Do you think that that's been reflected in the build-up? You know, you kind of just flat-batted that back there. It is just another fight week to you, but do you believe that to Lauren, that it's not? It does mean more to her than it does to you?
Yeah, because for a win for Lauren means I'm the best name on a record. A win for me, I don't believe it means the same thing.
Joe Gallagher spoke at length yesterday on the Toe to Toe podcast, which I implore everybody to go and download and enjoy. But one of the things he said that both of you have brought into camp is this Marvin Hagler type mentality where you both view that Lauren's trying to take food off your table, that you have adapted a siege mentality, which actually Joe pulled me up on in the first press conference and said, we actually haven't got that. But yesterday it was very clear that perhaps, you know, you've pulled the doors down and it's us against the world, and what difference that's made in camp.
I think it's always, like I say, when you get in the ring, it's just you versus the other person, but there's a little bit more behind this one. There's a little bit that I want to prove myself right.
Yeah, how does that sit with you? Because there is perhaps more opinions and more debate that doesn't always favour your side with this one, and I wonder if shutting a few people up is one of the main motivating factors, or is it outside noise is not that important?
No, it's not that important, to be honest. I'm a bit too long in the tooth, I won't say old, to be bothered by social media and boxing fans, and everyone is entitled to an opinion, and some of them are justified, some of them aren't, but I'm just going to do what I do and prove myself right.
Yeah, motivated to prove a point, I think was the line that you used.
Yeah.
If I bring in Lauren Price, I mean, the build-up has been great, is one thing I'd say. It's probably quite new to you, this level of, as a pro, I'm not talking about the Olympic Games or anything like that, but as a pro, this is probably the biggest build-up that you've had. How have you found it on your side? You've probably had to do a bit more talking than you would normally have had to do. What have you made of stuff that's been coming from the other side as well?
Yeah, obviously, it's a great fight, and I'm proud to be part of it. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm in a great place, mentally and physically. Obviously, the outside noise is irrelevant. When that bell goes on Friday, there's 2 of us in there, and the best women win.
How do you think, I echo what Johnny Nelson said on The Gloves Are Off, you won't know until it's happened, but how do you think you will cope if you do start losing rounds, if you do have a cut, if you do have a crisis? I know you're not planning on that, but how do you cope with that, and why are you so confident that it won't be a problem?
I've had a good camp, but I think the biggest thing, in this game is staying cool, calm, collected, staying composed. And if that happens, then we go again. I got a great team in me. Go back to the corner, take instructions, and whatever. But I believe in myself. I know how good I am, and I believe I win this fight, and that's it. How important is the man on your shoulder there in terms of keeping you grounded? One thing that's come from the other side is they feel there's some overconfidence there. Is that true? Are you looking past Natasha Jonas, looking already towards the undisputed fight that would perhaps await the winner on both sides? No, definitely not. I respect Tasha. I've said that all along. And, I'm grateful to be up at Sheffield and have Rob train me. Obviously, he's a great trainer, but a great friend as well. And I put my fully trust in him. And, we've got a great relationship. And, yeah, like I said, I just believe in myself. He believes me, and I'll show everyone on Friday night how good I am. Let's bring in 2 great trainers. I'll start with Joe Gallagher. I can probably put a few points to you that were made by you yesterday. You feel there's been some disrespect in terms of the narrative of this fight. Do you want to explain any of that?
No, really generally just disappointed really yesterday. Obviously, first of all, before I start all this, I just want to thanks for everyone for coming up. It's a privilege to be on the top table here. I think I mentioned I was at the presser beforehand with Robert years ago when we were in the Lennox Lewis College, and he was training John O'Donnell and Lenny Dawes and I, John Murray. Who would thought so many years later would be sat here with 2 of the best in the division going head-to-head with each other. I'm usually a big fan of Cinder, just one to look out for. And isn't Caroline Dwyer a good talker? Oh my God, I just feel like rubbing a bit of that gold in here before I put my foot in things. Caroline, the way that you talk. So, yeah, one other thing that I'd like to say. I'd like to pass on my condolences, and think everyone in the room will share, on Kevin Hickey, MBE, who passed away, and at his funeral yesterday. Kevin Hickey was a major part of where GB boxing is now. He was involved in 5 Olympic Commonwealth cycles. He was instrumental in setting up the GB, giving Rob, Richie Woodall their opportunities, and I just felt it was fitting here with all the women and how things have changed, that thoughts and prayers to him and his family at this time.
Yeah, very well said, and I think everybody in the room would echo that.
Wow. Finish him.
Just yesterday. It's just being in a fight week, and you'll come down and you're assigned to be at a place at 11 o'clock, and you have a head-to-head, and whether it be Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois or Tyson Fury, Usyk, it's just standard what starts fight week. And to come downstairs and do a check weigh at 10:30 and then be told, oh, Lauren's not here for the photo shoot at 11, I just thought smacked a little bit of disrespect. And I don't know the reasons for or whatever and anything else, but I got the memo last week, everyone got the memo, everyone got the schedule this week, and I was just thought it was a bit bang out of order, a bit the disrespect from Lauren and the team, and there's no excuses. She's got people around her. Obviously, Rob's a fantastic coach. Obviously, he's been involved with 2 of the best fighters for years with Carl Froch and Anthony Joshua, and he understands fight week and the obligations of fighters on fight week, and for not turning up, I just thought that was a bit out of order, that was yesterday.
Did you suggest yesterday on our stream that you felt that Lauren was struggling at the weight? That was one of the reasons you suggested. Did you want to address that?
Well, I struggle at weight.
I mean, it was something that you said you felt that...
No, to the point I was saying, the Moshe hasn't come down because the Moshe were doing the last little bit of weight off. Moshe were having the board in Sheffield do the check weigh up there instead of coming down to London and doing the check weigh. That was all. I couldn't think of no other reason why she wouldn't be here not to do it.
No, I don't struggle at weight. Obviously, I based myself in Sheffield. I haven't been home to Wales. I was training with Rob on Saturday. We actually had a phone call with Sky, and I was told, yeah, you don't need to be in London at 11 on Tuesday, because I had a check weight from the boxing board of control at 9:30 in Sheffield, come down for 4 o'clock. That's what I was told. So it was a cross communication. All I've done is be respectful in this fight. I'm not disrespectful. So you take it how you want to take it, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no problem. We'll all blame Sky then.
Sounds about right, doesn't it? Sounds about right, yeah.
Sorry, Sky, I didn't say it.
Yeah, not quite sure what's happened there. I think it sounds like a miscommunication.
Ben's staying quiet.
Yeah, I'm staying quiet. I'm not getting involved.
Rob, do you mind if I bring you in? That was a great argument. That said a lot of praise and then hit you with the counter punch at the end there. I mean,
no, listen, we'd be annoyed if we kept waiting around. There's a bit miscommunication, and probably I'm the villain in the piece, to be honest, because the advice I was given was it's going to be pushed back till later. So apologies for Joe and Natasha hanging around and coming down the night before. Probably I'll take that one on the chin, but it's not intentional. Natasha knows me. I wouldn't dream of doing that.
What have you made of the build-up? It's there's a lot of new eyeballs on this. There's a lot of hype around it. It's the desire to prove who is the best at 147 pounds. Why is Lauren Price, in your eyes, the best fighter of the two up here?
I think I'll answer your question, and then I'd just say that I can understand where Natasha and Joe's coming from with this fight, because she's achieved so much as a professional and she's at the top of her sport, and then you get somebody come through who's fairly new, 2 or 3 years as a pro and has sort of moved really quickly. So I can understand why they're not annoyed, but they're a little bit put out that there's pressure to fight Lauren Price, and then obviously then you get people saying, oh, Lauren's going to win this, etc. And suddenly it's like, I've done all this work to get here, and now people are doubting me. So I understand where they're coming from. But look, you're asking me the question. Lauren's, Natasha was fantastic on the programme at GB. She's gone on to have a fantastic professional career. Two brilliant female fighters, in my opinion, are going to fight on Friday night. It'll be a fantastic spectacle. But yeah, in my boxing experience, Lauren Price is phenomenally talented. What she's done as an amateur, it gets possibly doesn't get so much of a spotlight on it as professional boxing. But when you look at the females in Olympic boxing, lots of them are pros, lots of them are world champions, and it's as tough as it gets. So I think that she served her apprenticeship in that sport to prepare her for these occasions. And you've seen some of the Olympic Games and World Championships that she won, and the people she had to fight as a really, really good fighters. So yeah, it's prepared her mentally and physically. She's not 21. She's a mature female, so she's at her peak and she's ready. And my experience tells me that when you're young in pro boxing and you feel ready, that's when you should go for it, because pretty soon you're kind of like, oh, I'll try and swerve that fight, and I'll try and take this one, because you get fed up of the training, you get fed up of making the weight. It all becomes very difficult. Separate, obviously, with these two, they're both at the peak of their powers. Natasha's been remarkable in recent performances, but like I say, you asked me the question. Lauren Price is a phenomenal female boxer and has got huge potential, and that's from my experience.
Just to go back to you, Joe, one of the things that you said yesterday blew my eardrums up. You feel that there's an unjustifiable hype around Lauren Price?
Robbie just reminded me of there when he was in the position with Carl, and Carl had been an unbelievable servant for everyone around the world, and then you had I wouldn't say an upstart, but you had a young, cocky George Groves telling him when he's got to knock Carl down and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, Rob gets it and I get it. And I think that's where that comes from as well. I think obviously the agenda and the narrative that everyone's trying to have with Lauren is that she's this unbelievable fighter, hasn't lost this, and this Ivan Drago type of character, and it's like, that's not the case. It's just not the case whatsoever. And I feel, obviously, on Friday night, listen, Lauren keeps saying she's younger, faster. Yeah, David A thought he was till Carl Thompson at age 40 knocked him out. You can't beat experience in the ring, and that's what's got to happen on Wednesday night. And all the sound bites and everything else, I've not lost a minute, I've not lost a round, I've not lost this, but you will lose a round, and if the referee does his job, you most probably get a point took off of his head or holding, and then you've got to get hurt, and then that's when the fight happens. There's one thing with Lauren, when I've gone through all her career and studied her and watched her, and I cannot knock her for it, she's got grit. She can't achieve what she's achieved in life, either football, kickboxing and boxing, without that grit, that desire and tenacity. She has got that. But then it comes to boxing, there's just a little bit of seasoning, there's a bit of experience, there's a little bit of that, and Natasha has that. So when I reflect back and say people like Bernard Hopkins and people like when Pavlik was coming through, and like Carl in the end, he ended up doing George Groves at Wembley. Do you understand? You just can't buy that little bit of experience. And listen, as Lauren's just said there, she lives in Sheffield, she's in that bubble, she's there all the time, but she's out of the bubble Saturday night, and this will be a fight for a Saturday night.
Right. You're making the same mistake we're on Friday.
Friday night, yeah, sorry, Friday night. And listen, she is good, and you can't deny it. Olympic gold medalist, what can you do? Natasha made points saying, yeah, when everyone had moved on, and Terry Harper and all that stuff. But you just got to look at form, and when I've studied her and against southpaws, listen, there's a few of them that she couldn't really work out. And a form guide against fellow southpaws isn't the best. She avenged one in the Olympics, Athion Bailon, but she never beat Ariana Fontin, and that was a couple of times. And there is, for everyone that's building up this character and this Ivan Drago, there is flaws, and people say, yeah, but Natasha's been knocked out. But we're not portraying Natasha as like Club Alango, Mr. T, that didn't go to get beat, do you understand? We know our vulnerabilities, we know where we are, but just by keep hyping and creating this narrative about Lauren, you half disrespect to half what Natasha did, but I half get it, and it's part of the fight and part of the build-up. But that's what I'm saying. Just remember back, David Hay come out of the Worlds flying, took on Carl Thompson because he was age 40 and thought he'd do it, and that's what happened. And you can't buy experience, and this is what's got to happen on Friday night. It's invaluable. Rob knows, obviously being there with Carl against George, and like I say to you, it's a great 50-50 fight. Everyone's got to tune in. It's got to be a brilliant event, and the atmosphere, obviously having Liam Williams fight Liam Smith in the past, I know how passionate how the Welsh fans are when they come up, and how passionate the Scousers will be, and people that will be in there. The atmosphere will be electricity, and that's another pressure point. Now we're in a fight where I feel Natasha in with Katie and Michaela Meyer has had them tests, do you understand? And there's a lot of questions to be asked more on Lauren Friday night than there is on Natasha Jonas.
What an answer that is. Do you want to go back at him with any of that? That was
he likes to talk, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I know.
Right. I told you she'll let Caroline talk.
I don't know where to start.
I think I'll just quickly, Joe, just coming back, only a small point. I think you're right, and you know, Natasha's had her challenges and stepped up. This is Lauren's challenge. We're not daft. Natasha's the best opponent she's fought as a professional, and you've got to challenge yourself as a professional. And if you keep taking the fights that you think, oh, I'll definitely win that, I'll definitely win that. So I think it's ambition, it's drive, it's belief, and she's got to step up, and she understands that. And obviously Natasha's got all that experience waiting for her in the ring when we get in there. So it's going to be a brilliant fight, and yeah, for female boxing, I think it's fantastic for British boxing.
Just quick one, can I just come back on that, because I don't know who's behind this. Ben tells one thing, so I don't know another. I've seen Lauren saying she wants to fight champions all last year, and you say the question and the desire. But where was the challenge for Sandy Ryan when she was world champion? Where was the challenge to Michaela Meyer? I just feel...
No one wanted to fight me.
Well, Ben, that's not... But Ben?
It is true. It is true. It has been hard to get fighters like that to fight Lauren.
So Michaela Meyer on social media...
Yeah, she didn't want it.
Michaela didn't want Lauren.
Okay, then. Sound all right.
Michaela's about to blow up X.
Do you want to go back to one point there that Joe was making about you against southpaws? Any stupid question, stupid answer, but any concerns there? Any truth in what you're saying?
No, it doesn't matter, southpaw, orthodox. doesn't matter. You know, I'm experienced. I faced all different styles. That's the great thing about amateur boxing. You travel the world. People don't understand the level of it. You come across all different oppositions for bigger people. So yeah, regardless whether it's southpaw or orthodox, you know, I've been in there. I've had a great camp. I've had great sparring. Like I keep saying, I'm mentally and physically in a great position, and I'll show how good I am on Friday night.
The best way to end these things usually is to ask the two main event fighters to give one final message to each other. This time I would say just make your final case why you win this fight direct to each other. If you want to go first, Tasha, or, you know, it is Jonas Price, so you could go second if you want. I'll give you the choice.
No, it doesn't make any difference to me. I think, you know, experience, accuracy, timing, and boxing IQ is why I win. But I do believe she'll bring the best version of her. I'm prepared for that. And I'm going to bring the best version of me. She'll be prepared for that. And the best woman will win.
I'll give you the same opportunity. Your message to Natasha Jonas on why you will win.
Too quick, too good, too young. That's it, really. I believe in myself, and I'll be getting my hand raised on Friday.
Okay, unless anybody's got anything else to add, I don't think that there is anything.
Just lastly, lastly.
Have a word with him.
I can't wait for after the fight so we can say we were just too old, too slow, and too good. There you go.
Just lastly, I think there's about 150 tickets left. It will sell out on Friday night. It's an unbelievable card. This main event, two, you know, legends of trainers, two unbelievable fighters. It's a 50-50 fight. The atmosphere, as you say, the Liverpool, the Scousers, and the Welsh fans coming down, it's going to be spectacular in Albert Hall. We will see you on Friday.
If you haven't consumed the shoulder programming, it's all across on demand on Sky Sports and YouTube. Go and check it out. There's gloves are off and a behind the ropes. And of course, now we'll pose for the face-offs that we can. And we'll be back here for the weigh-in. And of course, Friday night at the Royal Albert Hall. It is unstoppable.
Yeah, do go check out some of that programming that is available on demand on YouTube as well. As Andy just said there, we have a gloves are off behind the ropes. I also did an off limits as well with Natasha, which was a really interesting sort of chat with her. We could have talked for hours and hours about what she's achieved in her career inside and out the ring. In terms of the press conference, I think Joe sort of kept a lid on it pretty well there, Andy.
Yeah, he was disappointingly civilised there, I thought. I was expecting more, to be honest. I was expecting him to pull out the pin, lob the grenade in.
I'm not sure how you topped the mic drop yesterday, really.
And just stand back and watch the carnage. But he didn't really. He didn't. He made his points.
He put it down gently, like a gentleman, instead of throwing the mic, so it was all right. But I think he had a point in regards to Natasha. The one thing you can't buy, borrow, pretend to have is experience. And all she has to do is control the pace. I've said it all the way through. She's just going to cut, because if she doesn't, the young lioness in Lauren Price will take over. Controlling the pace. There were great examples. David Hay against Carl Thompson. Perfect example, because it was kind of the same position. David in his 10th professional fight came through. I've expected him to do it. You know, against a 40-year-old Carl Thompson, Carl knocks him out. But then look at what David went on to do in his career after that. So you're not to write off the experience and the skill that Natasha has.
Matt, if you put yourself in Natasha's shoes, can you understand that perhaps she does feel a little bit disrespected with how the narrative of the fight is going?
Yeah, when you've been there and done it, and the other person who's coming up after you hasn't, you are going to feel that. But you know, you don't make the jump till you make the jump. You know, like everyone. Natasha was there once upon a time herself. You know, that's the way it goes. That's the changing of the guard type thing. You know, look, David Hay, Carl Thompson, there are other examples of that. But let me tell you, there's a lot more the other way. You know, McGuigan Pedrosa, Ricky Hatton Costa Sue, great champions.
I think Joe covered all the fights really in his chat.
Coming through.
Yeah, certainly so. In terms of Lauren, though, and Rob McCracken, I thought Rob's retorts were perfectly balanced. You know, he said his point, but he was very level with it.
Yeah, that's him, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's him all over. I've never really seen Rob get riled up by anyone or anything. He's been doing this too long, and he knows what he's got. He's seen her for a really long time, Lauren Price. He's watched her train at close quarters. He's seen Tasha Jonas at close quarters for a really long time. So to be honest, no one's really in a better position to comment on this fight than him. Obviously, he does have an angle because he's in Lauren Price's corner, but he's kind of the perfect guy to have on your shoulder if you find yourself in a position where you feel like the other team are going to try and really get amongst it, because he just won't, he just slips off his shoulders.
As trainers go, Rob's got a really unfair advantage because he's been in that situation in GB. He's seen them all come up together. He's seen them all spar. He knows the strengths, knows the weaknesses. He knows the strengths and the weaknesses.
Rob's one of the few trainers that...
He's got a different insight.
Yeah, complete insight. And the difference between him and Joe Gallagher is Rob's completely camera shy. He doesn't want to be in front of the camera. He doesn't need to brag and boast.
A word on this, Andy. A pro debut for Cindy Ngamba. We're all very much looking forward to seeing what she delivers on Friday night. A lot of talk around her, a fair bit of hype as well. And she's taking on Kirsty Babington, which is by no means an easy pro debut.
No, it really isn't. But what I like about Ngamba, hearing her speak up there, there's an ice-cold quality to her. It was very emotionless the way she was talking about her opponent, and you look at her eyes there, just looking at Babington, who won't be intimidated by it, but she is stone cold, Ngamba. She really is, and I think that's a quality you need.
How do you think her style will transfer into the pros, Johnny?
I think she'll blend naturally, because one thing I saw at the IS when she was up there, every other fighter respected her. She had a big smile on her face. She had something about her. But all the other fighters that were there respected her. So there was something about her that stood out. So yeah, you've got to keep an eye on her.
Again, great fight. This one on paper as well. Chloe Watson. What are you expecting this one, Andy?
It's a good fight, this. It's a really, really good match. They've sparred. I don't think either one of them is going to take too much from it. But Zapatochina's got some good seasoning. She lost a fight to Shannon Ryan, then took a fight against Maisie Rose Courtney in the away corner on a Matchroom show. The script there was not that she would win, but she did win, and that's what's got her this opportunity. You hear a lot of good things about Zapatochina, one of Kevin Marie's fighters, and people think that he's unearthed another gem in her, so I expect this to be a really good fight.
Chloe Watson trains with Ricky Hatton, a bit of a protege for Ricky Hatton, and he doesn't take on fighters unless he's serious about them.
No, I actually met Chloe Watson way back, a few years back, down in, I was doing a thing with Katie Taylor at the Gymshark headquarters near me.
Other brands available.
Exactly, so. but she was there then, and she was telling me she was, I don't think she turned professional or anything at that point, but she was telling me she was training with Ricky Hatton, and she was going to go on and have a great career, etc. So when she came on the scene, she wasn't alien to me. I was aware of her, and I've watched her progress, and she's got better and better. And I can see Ricky's put his stamp on her, and you can see the influence there, and you can see she's trying to mould that style.
I imagine this one's going to be a bit of a steely face-off between Karis Artenstall and Raven Chapman. Raven Chapman obviously looking to get back to winning ways. For Karis, Ring Rust wants to dust that off, hasn't been in the ring for a year. What a point to prove.
Karis seems angry, frustrated, seems no nonsense when...
that's kind of her state always, isn't it, really, Johnny?
Yeah, but I think Chapman, when she was speaking, you should kind of just look across at her, roll her eyes and say, "Are you on another planet? You're not even in my league." That's what everything about her told me. And I think, don't be surprised if you try to jump on her from the off, just to stamp her authority, to show her, look, I'm bossing here, behave yourself.
Matt, what do you think it will come down to in that one?
Sorry.
Every time. It was talking about Karis Artenstall.
No, I think Chapman's more experienced as a professional, but I think Karis, an Olympian, very talented, and she likes to hold her feet and stand her ground. She's not just looking to score points, Artenstall. She's looking to do damage.
Absolutely loving.
As is Caroline
Dubois' confidence, against Bomi Rushin. Could be a really interesting fight, this one. But do you think maybe Caroline will just have a little bit too much of Bomi Rushin?
You know what? She's a full package. I actually like the fact that she's up against the number one. So Shin's not being put in that place to just to fight Caroline. She's up against somebody that deserves to be there, and we will truly see how good she is, how good she's going to be. She's nowhere near the finished article, but love everything about her.
I'll tell you what's interesting about that, though, is that they've got markings on the middle there. You can see them, the pink markings, and Bomi Ray's shin was behind hers, and Dubois just stepped straight over hers and went literally toe-to-toe and got as close to her as she possibly could. I love the aggression. You know, the way she's talking up there, it's like that old Ali quote, you even dream about beating me, you better wake up and apologise.
You hang off every word, don't you? You absolutely believe it and buy it from Caroline. Smiles from these two, from Natasha Jonas and Lauren Price. It will be a different story, though, in just over 48 hours' time. You can sense the intent.
Yeah, one's stony face and one's got a smile on his face to say, look, you've no idea, we can go through everything you want to do before the fight. Which when the bell goes, Lauren's the taller of the two. Tasha's the shorter, more experienced of the two. She knows exactly how to play this game and she'll do whatever she has to do to win.
To put it into context, I mean, there is 10 years between them. Lauren's 30, Tasha is 40. This is Lauren's 9th professional fight that she's going for a unification fight in, won her world title in her 7th. And then you look at Natasha, she has overcome the adversity. She was there with Vivian Obanov when she lost to her. She bounced back and then some, and has proved every single time. And that experience could be the difference.
Experience can never be underrated. You can't buy it. You have to go through it. You have to have the fights. And Jonas has had the fights. You look at that fight against Harper, Katie Taylor, Maya, those three that you mentioned just there. And it should serve her or stand her in good stead in this fight. And we'll see what happens when Lauren Price gets hit hard and buzzed for the first time, because she feels like she knows what will happen. No one knows until it actually happens.
You can ask her yourself. Lauren, good to see you. A few mix-ups on timings yesterday that stirred the pot a little bit, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, I think obviously Joe being Joe, maybe a little game plan, tried to get under my skin, but I'm too laid back for that, you know, and it's irrelevant. All the hard work's done now. It's all about, you know, Friday night, two of us getting in the ring, and that's it, down to business.
We spoke about it at the top of the show. You seem very relaxed about all this and taking all the media. I mean, there is a lot in a room here today. You seem to be just taking it all in your stride.
Yeah, I am. I'm quite calm, I'm chilled, and I guess that's where my confidence have come from, because, you know, I've had a great camp, I've had great sparring, and I generally do believe in myself, and, you know, I've done it as an amateur and I believe I can do it as a pro as well. I'm getting better and better all the time, and I believe right now this fight is the right time, and I'll prove that on Friday.
How do you beat Tasha?
I just think, I'll be honest with you, I think I'm better in all areas. You know, my skill, my speed, my feints, my triggers, my angles, everything, my jab. You know, if I got to stand there and bite down on my gum shield and have a fight, I can do that as well. You lot haven't seen me do that yet because I've had it quite, you know, comfortable, as you can say it. But if I need to, that's in the locker as well, and that's a good thing about, you know, pro boxing. You've got to be able to box, but you've got to be able to fight as well, and I can do both.
The experience of Natasha, does that bother you at all? Does Rob talk to you about that, to be mindful of what she's capable of doing, because he knows her well too?
Yeah, she's experienced, and, you know, I respect that. I think she's a great ambassador and for boxing, and she's a good fighter. But experience, you know, when I look at it, like, I've come across all different styles. I know amateur boxing is different to pro boxing, but technically it's the same as well. And, you know I got that art and that desire. If I got to bite down on my gum shield and go through it, I can do it. And I think my experiences come from not just boxing, but I've captained my country in football. I've been, you know, at the Olympic Games walking out with a nation on my shoulders. I've had that experience. In May, you know, fighting against McCaskill, coming out, having my homecoming in Welsh fans, being focused, not losing around. I just feel like I'm built for this, and, you know, I'm enjoying every process.
In terms of the pro ranks, do you really feel like you've been tested so far?
Probably not. No, I feel like, you know, I got more levels to come, but I honestly believe that Tasha brings another level out on me as well. She definitely is the best opponent that I've ever faced in the pros. But, you know, I hope she brings her A game, because then you'll see me bring another level out, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the both of you might bring out the best in each other in terms of the occasion and how it feels, and you're headlining such a brilliant card. It is just a brilliant card of boxing, isn't it? How does that feel?
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you actually sit back and think about it, I got to pinch myself at times. You know, I feel lucky and honoured and privileged, you know, to be obviously be signed with Sky and Boxer, and to be, you know, pushed. Sky are the only ones who are pushing female boxing, and it just goes to show, you know, to box at Albert Hall on Friday night on an all-female card with the likes of Muhammad Ali's box there. It's going to be special. It's going to be some noise in there, you know. It's like Wales, it's Liverpool fans, you know, Wales v England. It's going to have a right, you know, touch on it, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Have you thought much about the moment before the ring walk and how special it's going to feel?
I'm going to soak it all up, enjoy it, you know, and then when I get to that ring, fully focused, when that bell goes, you know, straight down to business.
We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night. Thank you
Thank you very much.
Giving us your time, and we'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll let you go.
Thank you.
It is going to be one of those nights, isn't it? It is going to be a really sort of magical night, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, because you look at the card and you've got a world title unification, as you said there. It's an all-British fight. We've got a world title fight, a European title fight,
it
a
is
British
like
title
tick,
fight,
tick, 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 isn't it?
A rated international amateur making a professional debut, a bronze medalist from the Olympics, and then a touted prospect in Fran Hennessy with the next step on the road. And of course, it's an all-female card, and it's International Women's Day, and things have been kind of built around that. But to be honest, as a commentator and a boxing fan, I look at this card and I don't care about that. I just look at the fights on the card and how competitive they are and how good they're going to be, and it just stands alone by itself, regardless of all the rest of it.
Yeah, and everyone's got their own. No, everyone's fight is the most important thing to them, isn't it? Their fight on the card. But I think on an overall story from sports journalism, you've got an Olympic gold medalist, you know, boxing, Natasha Jonas, who was a GB Olympian, several Olympics ago now, you know, and they're colliding. And there is the narrative of the changing of the guard, because, you know, Natasha's been the long-time champion, and Lauren is a world champion, but she's stepping up to that next level. And, you know, like I said, there are examples where the experiences, you know, David Hay, Carl Thompson, you know, myself and Jamie Moore, you know, but there are more examples of when it has gone the way you expect it to go, which is the younger, fresher champion on the way up, beating the older champion.
What was that? Oh, careful. He'll have that off your back in no time.
Probably fits him.
Huh?
It'll probably fit him.
Yeah, it probably will. Joe today, a little bit down a level from yesterday.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's everything I expected and more of Joe. And yeah, like, you know, Joe's Joe. I never know what he's going to say. I never know what he's going to do. But he does speak the truth.
We've just been talking about it again, the experience versus the youth, the changing of the guard, and how much that's kind of become the narrative of this fight. Well, I'm guessing for you, it really is a chance for you to prove everyone wrong.
Do you know what? I got to the point where I've got sick of trying to prove everyone wrong, and there's always going to be someone unhappy or someone who doesn't agree, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. So what I do is just prove myself right, and that's how I've moved forward with my boxing career. Just forget about everyone else and just do what I know I can.
Where do you feel that you're better than Lauren Price?
I just think IQ, I think accuracy, I think timing, I think power. I've seen like things of she's going to knock me out and stuff, and I think, okay, but where's the evidence in that? You know.
Yeah, I was saying to early on with Lauren, I asked her, was the experience an issue? And she, as far as she was concerned, she didn't think it was. In my book, it is. The experience you have, it's about controlling the pace. Are you allowed to give a game plan? Are you allowed to give a thought process?
Joe would come and...
Or have you worked on specific things with her, or just doing your own thing?
You know what? In this camp, I've sparred Brian, who was a member of Barbossa's team for Jack Cattrall. I've sparred Jazza Dickens. I've met up. I went to Saudi. I was speaking to Shakur Stevens and Zhang, and I was talking about like what do you do with southpaws? What works with you? And it was that experience more than anything that I've learned through this camp. And some things I tried and it didn't work, but some things I tried and I thought, that's the key there.
That's kind of part of old school training. It's not just about going in the gym and hitting a bag. It's being surrounding yourself with boxing folks, boxing people, so they give you a bit of a mental insight in regards to what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. Jazza Dickens was instrumental. Josh Holmes as well. So yeah, I just feel like I've had a brilliant camp, and I've done everything that I needed to do. Can't do any better, and the best woman will win. That's it.
In terms of fight nights for you and experiences, where is this one ranking?
Sorry, say that again.
In terms of fight weeks, fight nights, and the event itself, where is this ranking for you in terms of your career?
Oh, listen, I mean, it's up there with the best of them. I think the settings is probably the best I've ever been in. And I was in the archives yesterday at the Royal Albert Hall, and to see the likes of, you know, Naz and Ali and who? Yeah, to see all these good people and Johnny. It was really special, and to think that, like, you know, 5, 15, 25, 50 years that someone can go into the archives and see, you know, myself and Lauren, that's an amazing feeling. Manchester's been really good to me. Liverpool, there's no place like home. But, you know, I'm ready to come and put a show on in London and prove myself right.
What's it going to come down to, do you think, between the two of you?
I think just who wants it more, who's more determined, who's fresher, and who's the best puncher.
Can't wait. Tasha, good to speak to you. We'll let you go. We'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow. Keep hold of that jacket. We'll let you go. Caroline's going to pop in.
Now, the funny thing was, as you were talking,
yeah,
I saw Caroline checking herself out in the mirror, just giving a little, and that's what smirking myself thinking, you don't think nobody's looking at you.
He was watching. He caught me. No, I'm in shape. This is the 1 week that we fight is where we get in shape.
She's like,
feeling good.
We're in shape today.
Caroline, your confidence, we have spoken about this, you know, the last couple of times, but it is rising and rising and rising with every fight. Where is that coming from?
Inside. I know my ability. I know my place. I'm trying to find my place in this sport. You know, I'm trying to find what level I am. So I'm pushing the barriers every time. I want to be undisputed by the end of this year. I don't know what that is. Is that confidence, arrogance? I don't know. All I know is that's what I feel in my heart, my gut. That's what I'm aiming for. So, you know, I'm here these occasions, these nights, and I'm facing off against people like Bo. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you know, we don't belong in the same ring together. You know, it's that confidence that comes from within, because I know what level I'm at. I know where I want to go. I want to be a multi-weight world champion, and I'm not just saying it for talk. I truly want that for myself. So if I'm going to do that, I have to beat Bo and I have to beat her in style.
Can I just say, on that top table, you were the best talker out of all of them, and the most believable out of all of them. And I'm out of all the fights there, because people shut up and they listened. They believed you. Because it's old school all over again thing, and it's not many fighters that talk the talk and want to walk the walk and say it the way you're saying it.
Exactly. You know, this show business, this boxing, this professional, it's about characters. They talk about the X factor. I'm not going to be too arrogant. I don't know if I've got it, but I always strive for the best. I want to be the best. I want to walk into a room and have everyone stop and watch me as I walk in. I want to step into the ring, and when I leave, I want everybody's my name on their mouth, you know. It's that confidence. I'm the middle child,
I'm thinking a little side hustle of like some motivational speaking going on here. That could be going on.
So the thing is, and tell me if I'm wrong, when Natasha and Lauren stood face to face, everybody else was like in awe, and you were stood there licking lips like as if say, I want some of this. I just say I'd want to fight those two.
No, listen, I don't know. I'm at 135 right now, so that's the way I'm focusing on. But I've been vocal. I want to move up in weight. I want to be a multi-weight world champion. We'll see what the limits are. We'll see how far I go. But I want it all.
How tough a test are you seeing Boma rush in?
We'll see. She thinks she's the toughest girl in the world. That's the way she fights. We'll find out how tough she is.
Well, what are you looking to deliver on Friday?
I feel like you already know the answer. A performance.
Are you looking to make a statement?
I'm looking for a performance. You know, I want a statement, and I feel like those statements come when you get those stoppages, when you get those beatdowns, when you get those arse whoopings that, you know, I give.
You're kind of taking my next question about you've already got to focus on what you want to do next, but are you not taking your eye off the ball in terms of this fight? But you are looking beyond this one by the sounds of it.
Of course, you know, I know a lot of people are going to be surprised the way I'm carrying on and acting, but I know boxing. I know how it works. You know, I watched my brother, how he was before the pre-Joe Joyce fight. Everybody was, this guy, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know, he's the next heavyweight destroyer. He lost to Joe Joyce, and all those people, they disappeared as quickly as they came. And so that's given me the humility to understand that, you know, if you're good, you're good. And never believe your own hype. You know, never let success get to your head, but never let failure get to your heart. So that mindset, I'm just backing myself. I know that this is a business. I'm going to promote myself. I'm going to say I believe I'm the best because I truly do. But I'm not going to let the arrogance and the hype. I never believe the hype. I train as hard as I can.
You're only as good as your last fight, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, you know what I mean. You have a bad performance, you're right. You get one more good performance, and you're back up there. You know, so it's positive and a negative.
Yeah, positive and a negative.
I remember when we did the round table, and Anna Mazin was there, and they said she used to frighten him in the gym. I kind of figure out why now. I get it now. I get it.
What happens then on Friday? What are we going to see?
We're going to see a typical Caroline Dubois performance, and still.
I love how you say it all with a smile as well. Looking forward to it. Thank you for talking to us, Caroline. We'll see you tomorrow at the weigh-in. I think Ben Shalom's going to pop in, so we'll do 1 in, 1 out. Ben, hop in. Love that confidence. You feel like when you've spoken to Caroline Dubois, we all just need to do a high five, don't we?
The confidence has come from the performances.
She's got
every right to be confident because she's been going from strength to strength every single time.
Yeah, exactly. Best talker up there, Caroline, today, Ben, but you must be pretty excited about Friday night.
With Caroline, I know I'm young myself, but I feel like an uncle dad because when I first met her, she wasn't talking. And we had to help, and she was so nervous on her debut. I remember, we had to go in there and just calming her down, and everyone was there, and Shane and this. So to see her now, it's actually crazy. It's ridiculous to see the development outside of the ring. It's phenomenal, and I think out of everyone, you know, she is a star. She really is.
She is a star, and it's a star venue on Friday night. We're in for a real treat, I think.
Yeah, I think the fights themselves, when Big Mo was going through them, and I was just like, wow, this really is a special card from the very, very beginning, and all the fighters deserve a lot of credit because there are career-defining fights on there. Caris has jumped in against Raven Chapman. Caroline's taken the best opposition she can. Natasha and Lauren at the top of the bill both jumped in. Chloe Watson and Jasmina. So everyone's got a lot on the line. That main event, I tell you what, we've got, I think, 2,500 coming from Wales and 2,500 coming from Liverpool. It's split so equally. They're both massive sellers and they're both big voices. And the atmosphere in there when that main event comes on Friday is going to be special.
What is it like boxing there, Johnny, at the Royal Albert Hall?
Beautiful. It's absolutely
beautiful.
beautiful.
How does it differ in terms
it's a posh York Hall, but it's beautiful. I can remember walking outside the front of the place. I think Harold Graham was boxing there. A taxi driver drove past and shouted, "Bomber Graham!" And it was such a big deal being at the Albert Hall. And until you're in there, you don't understand the magic. It's just one of those places that you don't realise how good it is until time's gone way past.
I think as well, Andy, it could be a venue that will bring out another level in fighters, perhaps, because of, the spectacular sort of scenery that you're in, the crowd that's going to be there. It probably make everyone raise their game, which is brilliant.
Everybody wants to be the star of the show, and you look at the fighters on that card, and that's how they're built. You look at Arctic Stall and Chapman, they want to be the fight of the night, the European title fight between Watson and Zapatoch. The same thing for them. It's a huge, huge platform that some of them wouldn't have imagined that they would necessarily have got. Others would have expected it, and now that it's here, they want to seize it, and I think it definitely does. I think the scale of the occasion, it brings something extra out of fighters. Everybody says a ring is a ring, and I get that psychologically, that's how you need to approach things, but it doesn't mean that you can't just have a look around you, see where you are, and know that this is where you need to step up and give us that reason to leave the venue talking about you.
I think it's both things. You've got to think the venue you're at, the fight you're in, it's the biggest fight, it's the best venue. You use that to motivate you, and then you've got to be able to switch that up and go, but it's also just another fight, and then get back to being calm and cool.
But that can't be easy to manage that sort of emotion. in terms of you want to be excited and soak it all up, but you've also got.
But that's what professional sport is all about, isn't it? You know, like say, fire in the belly, ice in the mind.
Yeah, certainly. So, who do you think is going to steal the show, Johnny?
Wow. I think Caroline is definitely going to be one of them, because I don't think she's got a pushover on her hands. I think it's a tough fight for her. But I think, again, she has to step up to the levels, and she'll start to talk the talk and walk the walk.
And in terms of predictions on the main event, I'll come to you first. You're going to hate me for asking you.
I think Natasha has to control the pace. If she controls the pace, she wins. If she doesn't, she loses. It's that simple.
I could ask you, Ben, but you're not going to give me an answer, and you've got to sit on the fence. Matt?
I think we might see a special performance from Lauren Price, and don't be surprised if Joe Gallagher stops the fight.
Okay. Andy, can you take your commentator's hat off? Are you not comfortable to do that today?
No, I can't give you a prediction.
Yeah, no.
I can't give you a prediction for this one, but I do think it'll be a really good fight, and I do think that...
Why won't you give us a
Because
prediction?
he's a commentator.
Is that the rule?
Yeah, that's my rule.
That's
my rule. Because sometimes people hear a prediction and they think that that's what you want to happen.
Yeah.
It isn't, but people can take
It's
it
not
that
what
way.
I want to happen. I don't care what happens. No. Do you know what I mean? I like Tasha. I like Lauren.
I think we can.
I want a good fight and the best girl to win.
Exactly. I think we can all agree.
I think it will be a good fight too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It should be a brilliant fight and also a brilliant night. That's it from us here at the press conference. We shall be back, though, tomorrow for the weigh-in from 1 o'clock. But it is all about the fight night, coming to you live from the Royal Albert Hall in London. Sky Sports Plus, Sky Sports main event and Sky Sports Showcase. We shall hopefully see you there.